Welcome to a new episode of Norway Perspectives, brought to you by Norway Relocation Group, your reliable partner for navigating life in Norway, whether you're here to work, raise a family, or start a new chapter. Today, we're going to explore one of the most talked about, but often misunderstood, parts of life in Norway, the Norwegian welfare system. For many newcomers, it can be difficult to understand what support exists, who qualifies for what, and how to even begin accessing the benefits available to them. Even though Norway is known for its strong social safety net, it's not always obvious how to use it or what you're actually entitled to, especially when you don't speak the language. In this episode, we'll walk you through how the system works in practice. We'll look at the values behind it, how it's managed, what types of support are available, what responsibilities you have as a resident, and how you can use the system in a smart and informed way. We'll also explain how your legal status affects your eligibility, and why it's so important to understand the language used in applications, letters, and digital platforms like NAV. Let's start by looking at the philosophy behind it all. The Norwegian welfare system is based on the idea that everyone, regardless of income or background, should have access to basic economic and social security. The system is funded through taxes, and it's built around trust, universality, and public responsibility. That means both citizens and legal residents, as long as they're registered in the national population system and have some connection to the labour market or family life, may be covered. However, not everything is automatic. While some benefits are provided to everyone, like healthcare and basic education, most of the financial and family-related benefits must be actively applied for. And that's where things get a bit more complicated. The key agency that manages these benefits is NAV, the Norwegian Labour and Welfare Administration. It's a large and sometimes intimidating institution, but it's also your main gateway to support. Whether you need help because you've lost your job, you've had a child, you're too sick to work, or you need support for your family, NAV is the agency you'll deal with. Let's talk about family and parental benefits first. If you have children and you're living in Norway legally, you're most likely entitled to child benefit, which is a monthly payment that helps support your family. This benefit is usually granted automatically if your child is born in Norway and registered with a Norwegian ID number. However, if you move to Norway with children or are new to the system, you may have to apply manually. For new parents, Norway has a very generous parental leave system. Parental leave payments, called foreldrepenger, are available to parents who have worked and paid taxes in Norway before having a child. The amount you receive is based on your previous income, and you'll need to apply for it through NAV with documentation from your employer and the tax office. If you haven't worked in Norway long enough, you might still qualify for a one-time lump sum payment after the birth, known as engangsstønad. And for families who choose not to use kindergarten, there's a benefit called kontantstøtte, a cash benefit for parents with children between the ages of 1 and 2 who are not enrolled in full-time barnehage. These benefits can make a real difference to your monthly finances, but only if you know they exist and apply for them correctly. Now let's talk about support related to illness and health. In Norway, if you are working and become temporarily sick, you are entitled to sick pay. Your employer will usually cover the first couple of weeks, after which NAV takes over. But this isn't automatic. Your doctor needs to submit a digital sick note, and you need to log into nav.no to follow up and ensure everything is registered. If you're dealing with long-term illness or injury that affects your ability to work, you might be eligible for what's called work assessment allowance. This gives you time and financial support while you recover or try to return to work gradually. It does require medical documentation and often involves a plan created in collaboration with your doctor and NAV. For people who become permanently disabled and unable to work at all, there is disability pension, which is a more long-term form of support. That process is more complex and can take time, so it's important to get help early if you think you may qualify. Unemployment support is another important part of the welfare system. If you lose your job or your contract ends and you've worked long enough to qualify, you can apply for unemployment benefit, known as dagpenger. The amount you receive depends on your previous earnings, and you'll be expected to be actively looking for work, attending meetings, and submitting regular updates. NAV also offers a wide range of job-seeking tools, retraining programs, and in some cases, even free vocational education. These services vary by region, and eligibility depends on your case. But many people don't even know they exist, especially if they're new to the country and trying to figure things out on their own. The most important thing to remember about the welfare system in Norway is that while it's generous, it also places responsibility on the individual. You are expected to apply, to follow up, to submit the correct documents, and to read the decisions and letters sent to you, often in Norwegian. And that's one of the biggest challenges for newcomers. Most communication from NAV and related agencies like Skatteetaten or your commune is written in formal Norwegian. Letters are often long, digital forms are technical, and automatic translations can be inaccurate or confusing. That's why language is such an important part of welfare access in Norway. It's not just about speaking fluently, it's about understanding keywords like vedtak, decision, saksbehandler, caseworker, dokumentasjon, documentation, frist, deadline, and innvilget, approved. Without that knowledge, many people delay applying for support they need, or fail to respond to decisions in time. At Norway Relocation Group, we help our clients navigate this entire process, from assessing what they may be entitled to communicating with NAV, uploading the right documents, and interpreting decisions that affect their income, work rights, or benefits. And for long-term success, we always recommend NLS Norwegian Language School, where you can take courses specifically focused on public services, family support, and digital communication. These aren't just grammar lessons. They are practical language tools for everyday Norwegian life, designed for people who need to understand letters, emails, and legal messages from public agencies. Whether you're a parent trying to register for kontantstøtte, a job seeker applying for dagpenger, or someone dealing with a medical situation, learning this kind of Norwegian gives you the independence to take action and make decisions with confidence. To wrap up, Norway's welfare system is here to support you, but it expects you to meet it halfway. Knowing what you're entitled to is only the first step. The key is understanding the process, following the rules, and, most importantly, learning the language you need to interact with the system properly. If you're unsure where to start, you're not alone. Many newcomers find this confusing, and that's exactly what Norway Relocation Group is here to help with. Thanks for watching this episode of Norway Perspectives. If this was helpful, please subscribe, like, and share it with others who are trying to make sense of life in Norway. And as always, we'll see you in the next episode.